really died or not. That's why it's important to live a clean life and very responsible. Have a lot of witnesses. Have a lot of people that can vouch for your character, your behavior. And that's why they try and break up communities, because it's strength to have communities that can all vouch for each other. Oh, he would not do that. That alone is huge. He would not do that. He wasn't seeing a psychiatrist. He was always a happy person. He wasn't on drugs. He hated drugs. You see how that's a shield. It's from morality. You need to know someone that you trust that was there. Otherwise, who knows? Yeah, that's why I recommend in these times, because I think there's shadow realms. I don't think it's like the government. It's just shadow and light, you know? Don't cheat on your wife. Don't have shadowy conspiracies. Don't do agendas. Don't steal. Don't do any of this shit. Because the minute you start doing that stuff, anybody can like, oh man, Johnny Depp once told one of my friends, who's a very famous guy, it's so ironic what happened to Johnny Depp. Oh my God, I haven't thought about this since the Amber Heard quote unquote trial. He said, don't cheat on your wife, because as soon as you do, you might as well just give the girl you fucked a key to your house and all your banking info, because she now just owns you. And look at it. Look at what he did. Look at how a woman did end up owning him. Fascinating. Dude, don't live in the shadows, man. I'm telling you. And then life is really fun. And ask Kyneton, I don't really get death threats anymore. And I think it was a spiritual transition, because I have more reach now. I'm more off grid now. What I'm saying is now more valuable to my audience now. What is it? Why? It's because I'm not afraid. It's because I'm not reacting. Because I think I got through it. I think I got through the test. I really do think this world is a test, where it's like, I used to be really upset. Like, I would do live streams right after horrifying death threats, and I wouldn't even tell anybody. I would just be a little jacked up, a little anti-Semitic or something. And they were getting me, and a lot of it was from like the Jews. You know, that was my ghoul. That was like the thing that was working on me. And so they just kept going with it. And so then people would and then my dad giving away my mom's money and all that. And that's why those ghouls like Andrew at the Crucible that will do like 8-hour streams showing my pain as I'm talking about my father betraying my mom and all this shit that he's done. You know, because sometimes it would bubble to the surface and I'd do a teachable moment, but I'd have a lot of anger because there's obviously more happening behind the scenes. Obviously. Okay, I don't want to be seen as a victim. I don't include every time someone does something horrifying, I don't fucking show it to everybody. All right? And so it just started not working. It just started being like, yeah, okay, what are you gonna do? And the more I was threatened, the stronger it would make my life. It's like, oh, you're not allowed on this social media. Okay, let's make our own social media. You're not allowed on streaming. Let's make our own streaming. Oh, these laws suck in Washington. Let's go to Idaho. Oh, well, someone can, okay, let's have a gate. Let's have all kinds of security. Let's know all our neighbors. Let's live near special forces guys that love me. And then people are just like, okay, you win. It's kind of like the story with my dog I told last night, where George just would not follow directions when it came to not expanding his territory. He's half Great Pyrenees, so they're used to like hundreds of acres. and so we tried everything. We wouldn't let him out. He'd like break through the door. He'd jump over fences. I'd build better fences. He'd get through that. At one point I put a thing around him that was just heavy, like a heavy ball. He got the collar off his neck. I got him a shock collar where it's like, he literally like gets shocked if he goes too far away. Okay. A couple months ago, we see George just like near the garden and his shock collar is just beeping. It's like beep, 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 beep. It's like shocking the fuck out of the dog. In the beginning, the shock collar worked great because it would just make a noise and he just wouldn't keep going. And then he just started taking the shocks and he just started being like, yeah, it's all right. I got used to it. And the shock stopped working. It no longer bothered him. And at that point, you want to know what we all did? We go, all right, George, you win. And we just let him like do his thing. And he's been fine. But it's like, that's what happened to me with the internet and with fear. You know, they're like, you don't get to do this. You're gonna be insane. Everyone thinks you're crazy. We're gonna take your kids. And then I just was like, not reacting. And they're like, all right, you want to go back on Twitter? And I'm like, yeah. George is Owen. If Owen was a dog, yeah, he's this big white dog that is real sweet and awesome, but not controllable. And, you know, he's kind of a tormented dog, but really nice. Very funny. George is a beast. Yeah. That's basically the story of the IG burners. Yeah, they're just like, you know what? Just whatever. Yeah, George is like, the joke's on you. No, it's like he just stopped caring. He just wouldn't react to the shocks. And dude, these shocks work on like military dogs. They work on everything. They work on like Caucasian mountain dogs and German shepherds and all this. These shocks, like my buddy's a Navy SEAL who trained dogs in the SEALs. It's like, dude, the shock is everything. You just have this little button, and the shock is how you train dogs to do anything. George literally is unaffected now by the shock. He'll just start getting shocked, and he won't even stop walking. He doesn't care. My dogs, it worked